For Media Studies Section 12 through 15, ideology helps us explain how unequal and unjust social relations are maintained in society and is categorized in three sections: as false consciousness, as a set of social practices, and involving beliefs and fantasies. Institutions are structures that maintain social order and were created by societies to create and sustain acceptable behavior and interaction that help stabilize that society. Discourses are a form of communication that conforms to or reflects a particular social practice or ideological position and organizes principles that set out the boundaries between different fields, areas, and positions. Public Spheres Section 16 through 18 starts off with media and democracy, which states the media assures the running of the nation by exposing corruption and holding those accountable. But society has become more dispersed because of the media. Habermas's public sphere is defined as places where public opinion is formed, mediates the state and society, and permits democratic control of state activities. In defining the public, John Dewey argues the public are groups of people that evolve in response to issues that affect them and participate politically. However, Walter Lippmann disagrees with Dewey and argues the citizens are influenced and are consumers of stereotypes, making their opinion unreliable and incoherent. In the next section, The Political Economies of Mass Cultures mentions how American political economy focuses on the media ownership economics with their commercial media structure, while Dallas Smythe takes it a step further and argues the economic relationship is driven by the audience being sold to advertisers. The audience commodity takes another look at this thought by stating the media is thus not paid for by the audience, but is funded by the advertisers who are purchasing the attention of an audience. Next, political ecology involves the oppositions of nature and culture, while aiming to expose flaws in dominant approaches to the environment by examining how the media shapes perceptions of the environment. Finally, the history of modern political economics mentions concepts proposed by Karl Marx nearly 150 years ago that are still employed with media studies today. Marx argues because technology advances over time, equal quantities of commodities can be produced in diminishing temporal durations, which entails that their exchange value will depreciate if all else is equal. Episode 3 of Who Trolled Amber talks about how bots were being used globally in a coordinated behavior to defend Johnny Depp. These accounts would then repurpose their accounts and cover their tracks. Data analysts believe that 50% or more anti-Amber tweets came from bots or trolls, and these bots would sometimes post up to 1,000 tweets per day. Last week, I mentioned how public spheres were used to harass certain individuals, ranging from Amber Heard to female sports broadcaster Jenny Kavner. Today, we start off on media and democracy. First, as populations grew larger, participation in a democracy required mediation. With mediation, the Fourth Estate was created. The Fourth Estate is the media assuring checks and balances as they monitored the running of the nation by exposing corruption and holding those accountable. What's ironic is how the media doesn't hold themselves accountable in their own industry. According to a study conducted by the University of Florida College of Journalism and Communication, non-athlete sources like anchors, reporters, commentators, and analysts were 80% male over the past 25 years. Also, according to a report by Wasserman, women's sports received an average share of 15% of media coverage in 2022. These facts show that there are still unequal gender labor divisions and unequal gender airtime within the media industry. Why is that? Because of an ideology as false consciousness that sports are male-oriented, male athletes perform better, male sports are more entertaining, commentators should only be male, etc. The list goes on and on. You can argue those ideas all you want. In reality, females excel in sports and make their product entertaining. For the first time in history, last year's women's college basketball championship game drew more viewers than the men's, averaging nearly 19 million viewers, around 4 million more than the men's game. Figures like Caitlin Clark and Dawn Staley have revolutionized women's sports as a whole. Also relating to this would be structuralism, the notion that social institutions and discourses have a hidden structure which can only be revealed through research. The hidden structure in broadcast media, especially in sports, is women face adversity and are put at a disadvantage with unequal airtime and gender labor divisions. Not only that, structuralism also affected Amber Heard. The hidden structure with online harassment is that women who speak out about being victims of abuse usually experience more harassment and backlash directed towards them, especially against a high-end masculine figure like Johnny Depp. Not only that, people will mask their harassment as their opinion or even quote-unquote free speech. Episode 3 of Who Trolled Amber mentions that bots, as part of a coordinated global campaign, were tweeting up to 1,000 times a day to specifically harass Amber Heard. In summary, the structure of the media industry is designed as a disadvantage for women. The media doesn't hold themselves accountable for the inequality within their industry, which creates false consciousness ideologies that further contributes to the unequal treatment of women within the industry.